Yay, Sari! Sari made it today. Hi, Lucy. I know the temptation to go back to live classes. I totally get that. Not the temptation, but like the joy of it. Because I started teaching in-person classes again at the Wiccan Inishin, and I forgot how much I missed just being able to connect with people energetically in the same room and to see what they're doing and to have that exchange is like super valuable. I think there's value to both, being able to practice conveniently, comfortably at home, and then also to have access to in-person classes. Yeah, so great. Good to see you, Lucy. Good stuff. All right, we'll wait a couple of minutes and see. We had a good cooking class last night. Nicole and I had the leftover moong dal pancakes today. And we made a little chutney to go with it with cashews and tomatoes, garlic, ginger. So it's like a dipping sauce, kind of like a salsa. It's like chutney is basically an Indian salsa. So we made those, had those for breakfast today. All right, so I'll let you get settled in and let's see who else is here. We'll get ready for our session. Oh, just Sari today. Sari says, totally, I get it. Practicing in both worlds. That's kind of funny. I wonder if I scared everybody off by saying that today's class is going to be strong. You'll feel empowered. Maybe nobody was in the mood for that. But what I've been noticing is that people have been tuning in right at the start time or slightly after, and that's, I guess, one of the benefits of practicing at home, right? You can, if you don't quite hit the start time, you don't miss out on your whole class. You still get to do your practice. So our class today is still being informed and inspired by my little health glitch. A couple of days ago, my back had a bit of an episode, and I'm so grateful that it heals fast, it recovers fast. It seems like this has been the pattern. If there's a flare-up, it's not a big flare-up, and it comes back really quickly. But I know that's not the case for everybody, whether you're working with different body parts or you too have back issues if you're watching this in the replay. So what I want to say about that is this is me living my practice and walking the talk, basically. So what I encourage you guys to do in your practice is to really listen to your body. Know that this is all about you, and how you choose each day's practice is very much informed by what's going on for you in the moment. So my teacher posted a really interesting quote today about yoga practice. Daily practice is about developing our self-awareness. It's not there to create a set of religious beliefs that isn't in alignment with what we believe or anything like that. It's just simply useful for developing our own self-awareness and our own self-knowledge. And that's what this process is. So that's why I create a whole plethora of variety of practices in the membership so that you can, on any given day, go in and scroll through and just touch in and see, like, what is it that I need today? Do I need gentle stretching? Do I need strengthening? Do I need restorative? Do I just need a yoga nidra, right? So this is the discernment that you're developing as you take care of yourself with the practices. You get to make those choices for you, because you know yourself better than anybody. So that being said, the practice that I need to do today is for strengthening and stabilizing. I don't need to do a lot of twists and, big stretches and things like that, big movements, but a lot of hugging in, a lot of stabilizing, some core. And I'm still going to follow, even though I'm feeling much better, I'm still going to follow the things that made me feel better. So avoiding forward bends, avoiding sitting cross-legged or doing anything that tweaks or aggravates my back injury. So I'm still going to respect all those boundaries, even though I'm feeling better. And I feel like this is something that we don't often do. Like when we're feeling better, whether we're down with a flu or a cold, or we have a back issue, sometimes we feel better, and so we just jump whole hog back in too quickly. I know I do that. And so this is about discernment and respect for ourselves and continuing to be mindful, even though we're feeling better, still respecting our boundaries and being conservative and mindful that way. All right, so I'd like to start laying down after that little spiel. Don't want to take up all your time talking and gabbing. So welcome, come to laying down on your back. Welcome if you're just joining us and I don't know that you're here. Welcome, whoever's here. And I'll invite you on your back. Come into constructive rest. So walk your feet a little bit apart, lean your knees together. And this is one of my favorite starting positions because it allows us to soften through our hip flexors with the feet, the legs in this position. So as our hip flexors are released, we get a feeling of relaxation coming into our nervous system. So that's one of the reasons this position is quite helpful with the knees bent. It also helps to relieve any pressure in the low back. And it's a beautiful place to invite some belly breath. So before you begin with a belly breath, just closing the eyes here, give yourself 2 ha breaths, just inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. And just allow that exhale breath to center you. Take another one. Big inhale and then a long sigh. Good. And just notice the effect of that breath. Begin to notice your natural breath, inhaling and exhaling. And just start to become acutely aware of your experience of being here on your mat, listening to your body, doing the things that feel good, taking on the challenges as you feel good to do, respecting your limits and your boundaries, and doing everything that you do with a sense of joy and appreciation for all that you can do with your body. And leaving behind any stress or judgment about the things that you might not be able to do yet, or maybe ever, and just letting that be okay. Invite yourself to play today in your practice. And let's take one more deep breath here. Inhale and exhale. And then we're going to walk the feet to about hip distance apart. And I think Lucy and Sari, neither of you were here yesterday in class, so we did a couple of things I want to repeat today because my body just loved it, so it's a definite go-to. So walk your feet about hip distance apart, rest your hands on your belly. It's just called simple press downs, belly press down. So if you imagine that you have a belt underneath the small of your back, underneath the small part of your waist, imagine there's a belt slung underneath on the floor. And then as you exhale, as you breathe out,
you're going to press your feet down, press the belly in and down, press the small of your back down into that imaginary belt on the floor. Then as you inhale, relax and let the hips tilt back to the starting position. So we exhale and press the small of the back down, draw the belly in, the hips tilt back, the feet press down. And then as you inhale, relax and fill the belly with breath. And just continue that a few rounds, exhaling to engage, squeeze the belly, that's your core. Press the small of the back down. We're also firming up, inhale to release, and just go ahead at your own pace here. Filling up on the inhale and then squeezing. Your glutes might squeeze here. Everything's contracting as you exhale, tightening. And then as you inhale, everything's expanding and relaxing. So I'm getting a sense of that contraction on the exhale. Belly pulls in, hips tilt back. Inhale, everything relaxes back to the start. Let's do 3 or 4 more like that. I say 3 or 4 because I always lose count. If I say 4, then I get 2 in and I'm like, how many have we done? So what this is the most gentle core strengthening move that I know, and it's great because the back is supported on the floor. So it's in a neutral spine position. And there's no way that the back can be strained doing this core strengthener, yeah? So it's all about firming up, contracting, squeezing in, and engaging. Often I use the word hugging in. Let's do 1 more. Lord knows how many that has been so far. And then go ahead and relax back to the beginning and just take a couple of belly breaths here. So relaxing and letting the belly inhale and expand. Exhale and soften. Interesting little fact about low back and core relation. Take another breath here. When we breathe into the belly, it's actually relaxing the low back, but not providing any support for the low back. So when you breathe into the belly and the belly expands, it's great for relaxing the muscles of the low back, but it's not great for supporting it. So if we're doing a side bend, a back bend, or a twist, really anything active, we want to be squeezing the belly in the way that we're doing when we do that pelvis tilt back and belly press down. So the engagement of the core is what supports the low back. So let's relax and just do a little bit of knees side to side. What would be windshield wipers, but again, I'm being very conservative today. So you can take your feet a little wide or apart and just move the knees side to side. And I'm just moving my knees a tiny bit left to right, but you can move your knees all the way over or as far as is comfortable for you, right? So you can use your exhale breath to move knees left, and then inhale to come back to center, exhale the other side. And because I'm working still to maintain the stability in the low back, everything's going good. I don't want to muck with it. So I'm not doing great big twists today. I'm not going to do great big forward bends, and I'm not going to do great big side bends here. So this is me listening to my body and taking good care so that everything can continue to. Such a learning process, hey? Like we get this body, we come into this body in the beginning of our lives, and we spend our whole lives learning how to take care of it because it doesn't come with a manual. All right, so then we're going to go ahead and bring the knees in, come back to center, take the knees a little bit apart. So they're not right together, but they're also not as wide as they go, somewhere in the middle. And here, as you exhale, use your hands to pull your knees in towards your shoulders, squeezing the knees towards the shoulders. As you inhale, press your knees away from your face until your arms straighten out. And then to pull the knees in towards their shoulders, their respective shoulders. As you inhale, press the knees forward. Still keep the hands hooked somewhere on the knees. And then as you exhale, use your hands to pull the knees in. So just doing that with your own breath gives a very gentle massage to the low back. It's a little bit of a mobility thing. Well, it's also a little bit of a stretch in the spine. So I talked yesterday a lot about decompressing the spine. Sometimes what translates into back pain is impingement of a nerve along the spine that causes the back pain, and sometimes simple decompression and traction can relieve that. And then the job is to build up the core so that we can maintain natural traction in our own spine using our core muscles to hold ourselves up on our frame. I get super excited about the back health yoga because that was my specialty for the longest time due to my own experiences with it. All right, so when you're done here, you're gonna take your feet up, slide your hands to your ankles, take the knees wide, hold on to either ankles or outer edges of the feet. I usually do happy baby at the end, but doing happy baby here at the beginning, just because that's what my body's indicating. But I might not do the strongest version of it for therapeutic reasons today, because again, I'm just being conservative. So I'm just gonna hold my ankles. I almost said elbows. But you can hold your feet if you want to, and then if you want to do a little rocking, you can. And just here. Nice deep breath. Whew, I feel like I'm doing a lot of talking today. I'm really excited about our session today. I have a really fun plan. Okay, so we'll come back to center, release the feet down, and roll over onto your side. Doesn't matter really which side. We're not going to stay there for very long. And I know a few of you have requested core, a lot of sort of strengthening, and this is super important to strengthen, especially as we get older. Let's go ahead and walk our hands up. Just, yeah, it's like going to the gym and lifting weights, right? But we're using our own body weight in yoga. So let's come to tabletop, hands and knees. Oh, you know what? I really wanted to do bridge pose before we come up to hands and knees. Oh, that's okay. We'll do it at the end of our session. Okay, so come to tabletop. Spread your fingers nice and wide, knees under the hips. You can pad your knees. We're going to hug the belly in here. And as you inhale, I'm going to curl the toes under. Stretch your right leg back behind you. Keep the hips level, toes pointing down. As you exhale, bring the right knee towards the right elbow, so squeezing the side belly. I'm just going to pad my knees here. Then as you inhale, stretch the legs straight back, hips are level, squeeze the belly. As you exhale, bring the elbow towards the knee, or the knee towards the elbow. They might not touch, that's okay. Inhale, stretch it straight back. It's just moving in that direction, right? Exhale to squeeze the side belly. Maybe they touch, maybe they don't, doesn't matter. 2 more times. Inhale, stretch back. And exhale, squeeze to the side. It's the side core muscles. 1 more time. Good. Exhale to squeeze, 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 squeeze. Good. And then stretch the right leg back. Keep the hips level. Keep breathing here. You can either keep both hands on the floor, right toes are pointing down, or if you want to balance in cat, opposite arm to leg, lifting and breathing here. So really hug the belly in. That's that whole action we did at the very beginning with the belly press downs. Pulling the belly in and up towards the navel. Breathe, smile. So good for building that core strength, the low belly muscles, the transverse abdominis. 1 more breath. You guys got this. Smile. Good. And then gently release, hand and knee down. Good. Now you can take a child's pose here if you want to. Sink your hips back towards your heels. I'm still not stretching my back, so I'm low back, so I'm going to do a puppy pose instead, which is more of an upper body stretch. And I'm just going to be really gentle and conservative here. If you want to, you can shift your hips a little side to side. Yummy. Okay, let's come back up to table. And we'll shift to the other side. So check your fingers are spread wide. 4 fingers are parallel. Hug the belly in. Stretch your left leg back. Take an inhale breath. Keep the heart open. Exhale, left elbow moves towards left elbow. Inhale to stretch back. Good. Exhale, elbow to knee. And inhale to stretch back. Little tip, keep going at your own pace. The slower you go here, the more fine motor muscle control gets developed. So slowing it down is actually harder than going faster and using the momentum of the movement. And we'll do 2 more on the side. Inhaling back, exhaling, elbow to the knee, or knee to the elbow. 1 more. Remember to smile. Keep breathing. Last time the leg goes back, level out the hips, hug the belly in again, because sometimes we forget, sometimes we lose that, right? We let the belly hang down. So it's important to pull that navel in and up. Opposite arm can stretch forward, or keep the hand on the mat if you want a little bit less strong here. Remember to breathe. Squeeze belly, squeeze belly. Lots of space between shoulders and ears. And 1 more breath. And then gently release. Hands and knees back down to the mat. Good. This time we're going to drop the elbows down. So you can bring your elbows down to where your hands were. Yeah, so wherever your hands were, just replace it with your forearms parallel, spread your fingers. We're going to inhale and lean forward over the hands a little bit and walk the knees back for like a baby plank. Actually, a baby forearm plank. So what we're looking for is a straight line from shoulders to knees, and you're hugging in your belly like crazy. So elbows are under the shoulders. Straight line from shoulders to knees. So we're taking the hump out of the bum, right? Bringing the bum in line with the shoulders and the knees. I hate that word bum, but sometimes I use buttocks. That also sounds very clinical. All right, so much awareness in the belly drawing in, and then we're breathing here, yeah? So harnessing the power of your breath. Harnessing the power of your upper body and your core here. Firing up the belly. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Good, 1 more breath. And then let's go ahead and lower all the way down to the belly. Now, if you have a blanket under your knees here, just slide it out of the way. Lower to the belly and come into Sphinx pose. So a little extension. Untuck the toes, point the toes straight back. Elbows are still under the shoulders. You can just let the belly hang here. It's the opposite of what we were just doing, which is squeezing the belly in and up. Now we're just going to let the belly soften down. If, though, this causes pinching in your low back, if you feel compression, pinching, discomfort in your low back, what I want you to do is spread your toes, press your toenails down, feel the knees lift, and then try to pull a rib up off the floor. So pulling a rib up, drawing your belly in, will take the sway back out of your low back and engage your core, and it should take away the pinching. If it doesn't, go ahead and come down lower. This is only if you feel discomfort in your low back when you're in Sphinx. I just want to take a couple of breaths here. Okay, so you can let the head hang down here. Nice long breath. I'm doing the engaged version of Sphinx because of that low back thing that I'm talking about. It's an L5 S1 disc that gives me trouble sometimes. So let's take 2 more breaths here. Yeah, nice. Good. And then gently lower down, rest your head on your hands. Relax your legs. You can let the ankles fall, toes point in, and just breathe into belly here. Just softening, surrendering. Okay. So you'll notice today I'm not doing a lot about mobility in the spine. What I'm actually doing is all about stabilizing the spine today, because over mobility is the issue for me. Okay. So this is all about stability and strength. Go ahead and curl your toes under. Let's walk back up to Sphinx. We're going to squeeze the belly in. Sometimes I like to shift the hips and body forward a little bit before I lift. So squeeze the belly and inhale, press up with a strong core. You can come back to child's pose. Up to you. I'm going to take puppy because I'm not stretching my low back. I'm stretching more my upper back and leaving the low back alone here. And in fact, I'm not doing a lot of stretching at all. Let's take a ha breath. Inhale nose, exhale mouth. Good, and let's go ahead and walk ourselves up to hands and knees. And we're gonna curl toes under, walk hands towards the knees, and come into a squat at the back of the mat. Your favorite position, your favorite pose. Feet as wide, a little bit wider apart, maybe hip mat width apart. You can sit on a block or a bolster if you want. You can lean against a wall. Sarah, you were talking to me about that one. And squatting every day is common sense. It's just good spinal health and hip health maintenance. So taking a couple of squats, it's actually a really great pose. Let's think about elbows on the insides of the knees here. If the deep squat isn't good for your knees, come high and just rest your elbows on your thighs if your knees don't want to do that deep one. Then you can bring hands together at your heart. The great thing about squat is I encourage you to use it throughout your day. Think about the pinky side of your foot pushing down. That will help to widen the hips and help keep collapsing in the pronation, right? The fallen arch that some of us have. Wink, wink, nod, nod. Tuck your chin a little. Draw your shoulders back. Lengthen the back of the neck. So what I was saying about popping into a squat throughout your day, like if you're in your house and you want to pick something up off the floor, if it's okay for your knees, try dropping down into a squat. If you're in your garden and you want to pick some things up or do some weeding, try using the squat in different places throughout your day. So you might be doing 2 or 3 just here and there. I do that all the time, and it's so great for resetting the natural curves of your spine. Remember to breathe. It's also really good for helping the hips to be more symmetrical, because sometimes one hip will be lifted or torqued or twisted to the other side. Squat is a really good reset. So when you come into squat, sometimes you'll feel one hip kind of settle after a couple of breaths, and you can feel them both kind of even out, so to speak. So it can help with pelvic issues, what do you call it? Sacral issues, that sort of thing. Okay, let's take one more breath. So good, nice. Now we're gonna release the hands down to the mat. I'm gonna keep the knees a little bit bent and just start to walk the feet hip distance apart. Walk your elbows up to your knees and sit into a little chair with your elbows literally resting on your knees. Lift your head so you're looking forward. Check that your feet are parallel, hip distance apart. Knees are the same width as your ankles, apart. Take 2 breaths here. Good, and then as you inhale, reach arms forward, come all the way up to standing, strong legs, strong core, reach up, stand tall, exhale, hands to heart. Good. Take a deep breath in and a long exhale out with a smile. Good. So what I normally do almost in everyday practice is a forward bend flow to loosen up the back. But as I said, I'm not loosening up the back today. We're stabilizing. So I want you to come up to the top of the mat if you're not there already. Bring your hands to your hips. Take a deep breath in. Exhale it out. We're going to shift the weight into our right foot and step the left foot back as mindfully as you can. Now the step might not be the biggest step of your life, the first one. I want your right foot over to the right side of your mat. So it's a little bit closer to the right side. And then I want you to lift the back heel over the back toes. Back leg's going to stay a little bit straight. We're going to start to bend into this front knee. Bend it into the alignment with your second toe. As soon as it starts to go further forward than your ankle, I want you to take a step back. I want you to step back as much as you need to find warrior 1, bending the knee in line with the second toe so that your front knee is directly over your front ankle.
right? So it's up to you. How far back do you step so that when you bend your front knee as deep as you can go, the knee is directly over your front ankle. And I don't care about your thigh being parallel to the floor, not at all. What I want you to try here, and this is going to be a big stretch for your back foot, you can take it easy here if you need to. I want you to bend your back knee quite generously. We don't normally do that in Warrior Two. When you bend your back knee, then I want you to think about how your hips can swing forward or back. So you can pull the belly in, drop the tailbone down, and swing your hips forward. When you do that, you'll feel a big stretch at the front of your back thigh. And then slowly straighten your back leg a little bit more. So what I want you to do is draw the belly in, move the tailbone down, slowly start to straighten the back leg. Breathe. I know it's a big, strong pose for your back foot. Good. And then we're going to step forward to the top of the mat. Woo la la. Come back to standing. Nice. Release the hands. Just take a nice deep breath. Inhale and exhale. Good. So what we're doing is we're finding pelvic alignment in our Warrior One. We're building strength in our standing legs. In our legs, period. Standing legs. Legs do, yeah, okay, that's funny. Okay, let's do the other side. Lift your right foot. Step your right foot back. And then walk your left foot over to the left side of the mat, just so that you're more on train tracks. Lift your back heel over your back toe, so you get a big stretch in that back foot. Bend the front knee in line with the second toe. As soon as it starts to go further forward than your ankle, you're going to adjust by starting to step the back foot back more and more until that front knee is right over your front ankle. Front. Bend your back knee. That will allow you, it will free up your pelvis to swing back or forward. When the pelvis swings forward, the belly draws in and up, the tailbone moves down. Sort of like this elevator. When one comes up, the other goes down. When that one goes down, the other one comes up. See that? You can do this in the mirror, somewhere where you've got a mirror, maybe in your bedroom. Then bend your back knee. We already did that. Swing your hips forward, then slowly start to straighten the back leg. And it might not straighten all the way. That's not the point. The point is to try to keep that belly in, tailbone down, and breathe. That's really the point. Breathe, breathe. I know it's strong. Your back leg might be shaking. Your foot might be talking to you back there. If it's too much, you can release. Listen to your body. Good. And we're going to step the back foot forward. Maybe it's 1, 2, 3 steps, whatever it takes. Good. Come back to standing. Good. Nice cleansing breath. Inhale and exhale. Whew, we're starting to get some heat going here, yeah? All right, so let's go ahead and just do a really simple balance here. We'll do like a preparation for dancer. So I'm going to take the right foot, spread your toes. Choose your drishti, your gazing point. Shift your weight into your right foot and bring your left foot off the ground. This can be your first step. You can stay here just to challenging your balance. You can use a wall if you want to. Just keeping your gaze steady. Keep smiling and breathing here. Take a step further. You're going to reach back with your right hand and grab onto your right foot. This is where bell-bottom pants come in really handy. If your hand don't reach, one thing you can do is put your hand on the wall. Sometimes that will help you to be able to hold on to that right foot. And we're just going to stand. Not going to go into dancer. What I want you to focus on here is standing tall, drawing the shoulders back, opening the heart, breathing in, breathing out, gaze steady. Think about squeezing your knees together and pressing your hips forward a little bit towards the front. And that's it. We're just breathing here, smiling and opening the chest, pressing hips forward. Very simple balance. And you could be here. This could be your pose, just that simple balance right there. Good, let's go ahead and release. How are we doing? Is your standing leg on fire? Stand tall and feel that, yeah? If you were standing on your right leg, stand tall and just notice the energy. Notice your own strength. How amazing is that? It is so incredible. Okay, so we're going to shift our weight into our left foot. Spread the toes on your left foot. Makes your foot bigger. Choose your drishti, your gazing point, to help you balance. Lift your right knee. This could be your pose, just lifting the foot any distance off the floor. Keeping the front body open, the shoulders back, and just breathing and smiling here. You're getting so much benefit just from balancing on one leg. Mental concentration, physical strength. If it feels accessible, you can reach back and hold on to that foot. You can even bring the opposite arm up for balance. Sometimes that's helpful. Again, we're going to think about opening the chest, keeping the knees slightly close together. Press your hips a little bit forward. You'll feel the glutes squeeze here. Breathe and smile. Beautiful. Just about there. Good, and then gently release. Foot back to the mat. Stand in mountain, palms facing forward, and just breathe a beautiful breath into the front body. Expanding and softening. Good. Let's take one more cleansing breath here. Okay. So what you might notice is one leg is easier than the other. We always usually have one leg that's stronger than the other. If you're practicing on your own, you might do that weaker side longer, or you might do that weaker side twice. Okay, so let's go ahead and step our right foot back. We're going to come into a warrior two. And normally it would flow. We go forward, bend, and step the foot back. But again, I told you today we're stabilizing, not flowing, not stretching. So when you step your right foot back, back foot's parallel to the back of the mat. Line from your front foot draws a straight line right to the arch, middle of the arch of your back foot. You can just start with hands on the hips. When you're warrior two, your hips are facing the side. Warrior one, where hips are facing forward. So your hips are facing to the side, but your head is going to turn to the front, yeah? So when you go ahead and bend your knee in the front, keep your back leg nice and straight. You might even lift your toes, especially for us pronators, which is going to lift our arch, right? As you bend your front knee, imagine you're lining it up with your second toe. Notice how the arch is lifted there. When you set your toes back down, keep an eye on your arch. You can use the muscles of your feet to keep the arch still lifted, yeah? Not allowing the arch to flatten down. Takes a bit of training. Then I want you to think about drawing the belly in, tailbone down. And that's going to make your back leg want to bend. And in fact, you can bend your back leg, pull the belly in, draw the tailbone down, and then start to keep that, and then start to slowly straighten your back leg. And breathe, that's the most important. If you want to add arms, looking forward, or you can take arms out if you want, and just focus on the lower body. Good, breathe, and feel your strength. Feel your stability here. Good, beautiful. One more breath. So good. All right, we're going to slowly stand back up. Nice thing about doing these stronger practices is it's such a sweet shavasana after. So we're going to switch. You're going to pivot your front foot and pivot your back foot. So we're just switching sides, yeah? So just checking that the line from the front foot, which was your back foot, Goes all the straight back and meets the middle of the arch of the back foot. Lift your front foot toes, see your arch lift, and then bend into your front knee. So we're setting up this pose from the ground up. Keep that arch lifted. Keep the knee in line with the second toe and slowly relax your toes down. Good. Bend your back knee just while we play with this. Draw the belly in, tailbone down. Then slowly start to straighten the back leg. Fire that back leg up. If you want to add arms, add arms. Or maybe not. Maybe just hands on the hips and focusing on the lower body, strengthening. Think about the upper body, shoulders being directly over your hips. Good. One more breath. You got this. Good. We're going to go ahead and straighten the front leg. Pivot the foot. We're going to heel toe, or you can do a hop back to the center. Yeah? Come back to standing tall. Take a cleansing breath. Exhale. Beautiful. You guys are doing a beautiful job. Beautiful. So much strength here. All right, so come to the back of your mat, hands on the hips. We're gonna do one more standing pose and then we're gonna come down to the mat because you guys deserve a little love and rest. Let's step the left foot forward, coming onto the ball of the back foot. Square your hips to the front of the mat. Open the front body. Draw your shoulders back. Start to lift the right foot off the floor. Spread your right foot toes. And try to grow your right leg longer by pressing the ball of the foot towards the wall behind you. Keeping the front body open here and breathing. Keeping the hips level. Make that back leg as strong and active as possible. Spread your toes. Great thing about this is you can touch that toe down anytime you feel you need some support. Good, one more breath. Keeping the front body open and proud. Gently release, leg down. Good, cleansing breath. Returning to the baseline. Whew, it's getting steamy in my house. All right, last side, you guys, we got this. Step your left foot forward. No. Step your right foot forward. Whew, we just about did the same side twice. Hallelujah. All right, so keeping the hips square to the front, keeping the heart open, start to lift the left foot, spread your left foot toes. Keeping a nice open front body here, draw the shoulders back, spread the left foot toes, and try to grow your left leg, your back leg longer by pressing out through the ball of the foot. Yeah, breathe. You can also release hands, make arms into wings. Sometimes that helps with balance. Good. And then gently release back to standing. Good. One more breath here. Exhale. So good. Okay. Let's go ahead and come down to the floor. We'll inhale, reach up. You guys did a great job. Exhale, swan dive, forward bend. And I am really modifying here. We're going to step back to hands and knees. Not forward bending much at all. And we're going to lower the elbows down to the mat. Elbows under shoulders. Forearms parallel. And we'll step the feet back and come into another little plank here. So you can lower the knees to do a modified version, or lift the knees if you want it stronger. If you're lowering the knees, hug your belly in. Same as we were before. Hips are the same line as your shoulders and your knees. And you're really squeezing belly in, breathing here, elbows under shoulders. Lifting the knees up, if you want, you can do a little bit of forward and back, but keeping the hips in line with the shoulders and the heels. So you literally can feel all the muscles on the front side of the body firing right up, yeah? Good,
we're gonna lower all the way down. You can lower the knees and then lower the belly. Rest your head on your hands. Untuck the toes and just soften. Give yourself a deep breath here. Inhale and exhale. Good. You're working hard. All right. So a little bit more strengthening for the back. Let's go ahead and bring the arms down beside the body. And you can bring the palms facing down. Palms facing down. Arms beside the body. And then think about the shoulders for a moment. They can either dump down towards the floor or the shoulders can lift up towards the ceiling. I want you to lift your shoulders up towards the ceiling. Forehead is on the mat. Nose is not touching the mat. So we're just setting all of this up here, yeah? Good. And we're going to press the toes down into the mat. The tops of the toes. So that's the hairy part of the toe. And then as you inhale, raise your right leg. Keep it straight as much as you can. Raise the right leg as high as you can. It might only be an inch or two. That's okay. And as you exhale, lower the right toes down. Press the right toes down. Inhale, raise the left leg. Try to keep the hips pressing down. Exhale, lower the left leg down. Keep the toes spread and active. Inhale, raise the right leg. Toes down. Exhale, right leg down. Press right toes down. Inhale, raise left leg. And just go ahead and alternate side to side with your breath. Take your time. It's a modified version of Salabhasana, which is locust pose, which is a crazy pose when you do the full version. This is the modified version, just to strengthen the back muscles. Helps with posture. And we'll do one more on the left side. And then relax to finish. Both our legs coming down. Make a pillow with your head on the hands here. Whatever you need to do to release your low back, maybe it's wobbling hips a little side to side or bending the knees and swaying your shins. Just do what feels good here. Maybe it just feels good to rest for a breath or two. Maybe taking constructive crocodile rest where the toes are pointing out and the feet are wide. Whatever your body wants to do here, just breathe. This is reminding me, someone sent or posted a, I'll have to share it. Oh my gosh, I'll share it on the Facebook group. You guys will laugh. Yeah. Maybe I'll email it if I can. All right, let's bring the legs back onto the mat. It's a funny post that you see on Facebook that you want to share. It's about yoga. Let's go ahead and walk back up to elbows on the mat. Curl toes under, squeeze the belly in. As you inhale, lift the hips. Another chance to go into child's pose or puppy pose. I'll just leave that up to you. And in fact, my body really doesn't want to stretch the back, so I'm just going to come up to hands and knees. But you can do the counter pose of child's pose or puppy pose. And just so you can see how I'm really listening. I'm really not compromising. I'm doing what my body needs because I'm still nursing this back issue. So then I'd like to go ahead and come to seated. And we're going to go ahead and roll onto our backs. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and come all the way down. So essentially, if you're doing yoga for something therapeutic, in particular, a specific sequence to address a certain injury or issue that you're working on, whatever that issue is, you want to really, everything you do is towards that end. So what I mean by that is we might suspend our regular practice of yoga, what we would normally do, and we just focus on exactly what we need for that one issue. And we care for that issue religiously. as that is the only thing in our awareness. So everything we do in our practice is towards the end of supporting us in that healing or issue that we're working on. So, good. Set your feet flat on, little lecture there. Set your feet flat on the floor. Feet hip distance apart and parallel. What that means is I'm being really strict with myself, not doing any twists, not doing any side bends, not doing any forward bends, etc. So, which seems really restrictive, but you can see how much we are able to do even when we're not doing those other things. So, really stabilizing. One of the great things is bridge pose. So arms down beside the body. Sorry for gabbing so much. I'm like full of hot air today. We're going to do a really modified bridge, and then you have the option to come higher if you want to. So set your feet parallel. We're going to start by just tipping the pelvis back. So in the beginning when we did that, belly drawing in, pressing the small of the back down, where our pelvis tilted back, just start with that movement, that engagement. Squeezing the belly in, keep breathing here. Notice how the energy starts to move into the legs because we're pressing our feet down. Just be mindful, keeping your head nice and straight. We're going to start with just a little lift to begin with. So whenever you're ready, you're going to inhale and lift your hips a tiny bit off the floor. Feel your glutes are engaged here. And then as you exhale, you're slowly going to release the hips back down to the floor. And really relax on that exhale. So you let the full weight of your hips squish into the floor. And then again, as you inhale, draw the belly in. Press the feet down and start to lift the hips a little bit off the mat, feeling everything squeezing in your whole pelvis, your belly, your glutes, everything contracting. And then as you exhale, slowly release all the way back down to the floor. So I want you to just do little lifts to start off with. Inhaling to lift, continuing here. And then gradually, exhaling to come back down. You're going at your own pace here. Gradually, you might start to keep going. You might start to lift your hips a little bit higher each time. But I want you to gradually make your movements bigger, right? So there's a lot of mindfulness that goes into those graduated steps. Slightly higher each time. Exhaling down. Really take your time. Go as slow as you're comfortable breathing with this. Continue the exploration at your own pace. Going really slow, feeling the strength of your core, your back, your legs. Maybe coming slightly higher each time. But really taking your time, especially on the lowering part. Take your time. Yeah. Sometimes we have a tendency to rush through these, like we sometimes have a tendency to rush through everything in our lives. Like Yvette said lately, how you do one thing is how you do everything, or something like that. Good. Slowly release. Good. The last one, if you want to lift and hold and breathe, you can do a longer hold, but continuing to inhale, pressing the feet down. Feel free to hold the pose. Or if it feels like it would serve you better to come down and rest, do that. Breathe wherever you are. It's an amazing pose, Setu Bandhasan, bridge pose, for creating strength and stability in the hips and the core, and the legs, which is super important for us to create stability and good balance, right? So that we have strength and stability to prevent falls and things like that. It's so important. Glutes are so important to be strong. When you're ready, come down on your exhale. Walk your feet a little bit apart. Lean your knees together. Constructive rest, and just breathe. Just let go into it. That's the yoga Facebook post that I was going to share with you. I'll try to email it to Lucy for you. And all these things are happening. She's trying to practice at home, and all these distractions are happening, and she keeps saying, let it go, and let it go. Anyways, I'll send it to you. Okay, let's go ahead, bring the knees into the chest. Hug the knees in. And if it feels good, you can rock a little side to side, or maybe just holding the knees and breathing, taking a couple of breaths. God, I want to thank you guys for doing this therapeutic program with me today, because this is what my body needs: strengthening, stabilizing. And so try to lead by example. Listen to your body is the theme of today. Release your feet down, and we'll finish with a little twist. So it's the sweet part of our practice where we start to wind down. You can take some windshield wipers if you want to, stretch your arms out to the side, or any twist that feels like what your body needs. So if you feel like you want a stronger twist, maybe coming into a double knee twist or a cross leg twist. And again, if you have some disc issues in the low back, sometimes twists are contraindicated. So just take it easy and do only what you need to here. And long, deep breaths. If you're doing windshield wipers, you might be exhaling to one side and then inhaling to center. You might be exhaling out the mouth. Starting to embrace that feeling of non-doing, of softening. And when you're ready, you can go ahead and stretch the legs out. Make sure if you're doing a twist to hold on one side that you've done both sides evenly. And stretching the body out, taking the arms a little ways away from the body. You can tuck the shoulders under if you want. Put a bolster under your knees if you like. Just remind yourself as you settle in, this is your time. It's your time to rest, to integrate, to rebalance. So let the feet fall open. Take a deep breath in, alongside. You can take a little tour through the body as I say each body part. Allow that body part in your own body. Feeling each part soften part by part. Find a tiny smile at the corners of your mouth. Relax your teeth, your tongue, your throat, your jaw. Relax your chin. Relax your nose, your left cheek, your right cheek, your left ear, your right ear, tip of your nose, left nostril, right nostril, left eye, right eye, left eyelid, right eyelid, left eyebrow, right eyebrow. Soften your forehead, the crown of your head, back of your head, left side of the head, right side of the head, the back of the head, back of the neck, left shoulder, right shoulder, left upper arm, left elbow, forearm, wrist, palm of the left hand, thumb, forefinger, middle finger, ring finger, pinky finger, the back of your left hand, And then feel your right hand relaxing, your thumb, forefinger, middle finger, ring finger, pinky finger, palm of the right hand, back of the right hand, right wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, right shoulder, right side of the chest, left side of the chest, solar plexus, navel, lower belly, left hip, left thigh, left knee, shin, calf, ankle, top of the left foot, sole of the left foot, left heel, big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and fifth toe. Your right hip, thigh, knee, shin, calf, right ankle, top of the right foot, sole of the right foot, right heel, big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe. Relax your entire back side of your body. Let it melt into the earth. Allow yourself to feel peaceful on the inside. Calm from head to toe. Just feeling the gentle rise and fall of your breath. A gentle wave. Allow yourself to rest here for as long as you need. May all beings be peaceful, happy, and free. Namaste.